Welcome back. I'm Adrienne, your expert on all things custom home building and luxury. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend how much fun we have on the Frazier Homes channel. So, in an episode before, we talked about project managers and what they are doing and what they are not doing. So that's basically a two-parter. So what they are doing and what they are not doing. And a huge part of what they are doing is time management. Well, I think it's important that we talk about time management and really what is happening in terms of time management. So, Frazier Homes, we have a plan, do, review type philosophy. Okay, so we plan it. What is the plan? Let's make sure that we have what, of course, specifications. We have our drawings. We know exactly what is supposed to be happening in terms of the project. We've studied. You know, in times past, we talked about if the project manager is not studying, they're not a project manager for Frazier Homes. And so the plan is the looking, the rehearsing. You all know, fun fact, Andre Frazier, president of Frazier Homes, he was in the NFL. They review their plays all the time. And how do you review plays? That is by studying the tape. Andre always tells us, study the tape. That's what we do here at Frazier Homes. We study the tape. So in terms of our plan, we're looking at the building plans, we're looking at our specifications, we're looking at selections, we're looking at industry standards, we're looking at building code. All of those things are the plays. That's the plan. Then we do, after we formulated our plan, how are we going to go about doing this? So that's based off of our schedule. We have developed a schedule. That's the plan. A schedule is part of the plan. We develop the schedule. You know that we've talked about in times past that we know about some of the things that are going to happen. So we know that there's going to be weather delays. We know that there's going to be material shortages. We know about that. So we plan for that in our schedule. Another thing is in terms of the do is that we do communicate. We communicate with our subs, our vendors, our homeowners, everybody involved with the process so that when the process comes together and it's time for you to go on stage, we think that this is an excellent screenplay, if you will. When it's time for you to go on stage, that you know your lines, you know the script, you're ready. So plan, do, review. The part about reviewing is we are going back to review the tape. Okay, so how well did we do? How well did we perform in terms of executing our plan? If we don't look at that, if we don't analyze areas for improvement, we do what's called a SWOT analysis. Everyone knows what that is. That's where you look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. We do that on all of our projects to really analyze where did we do really well, what do we need to improve upon, and what threatens our ability to continue to deliver excellent quality luxury Frazier homes that are in high demand. And so the time management is a component of that plan, do, review. Okay, another thing is walking the job in terms of time management. People will be on your jobs, okay? That's subs and vendors. Individuals will be on your jobs. If you are not walking the job to see what's going on, you're going to lose time. That's because people may be confused. That may be people are spending a little bit more time on breaks, etc. And if you're not managing, helping them to manage, keeping folks focused on the end goal, what we're trying to achieve. Remember, we talked about process capability. Well, the process is not capable if we are not managing within that particular time. Remember, we used the example of a bakery where we said we knew how much time it was going to take to bake our donuts, to cool our donuts, etc., etc. Well, if the time is expanding because we're not managing it, that means we won't meet demand. We won't hit our target. We won't satisfy our customers. So time management is making sure that you have command of what's going on in terms of each of the processes. Now, We talked about forecasting, okay? If you want to be an excellent time manager, you have to manage the look ahead, okay? You cannot be just in time. You have to look and forecast what's going on, and it has to be a 360 approach. So let's talk about what's happening here in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's raining. It's cold, it's up, it's down, all of these things. Well, if you have some phase of the project that is weather reliant, you would have already forecasted that and you would know that. You are forecasting in terms of what's going on with lead times and lag times. What is the lead time for a particular product? What is the lag time on how it's going to be installed? If you are mastering that, there's a lot of strategy when it comes to time management. And this is the reason why our project managers have to be excellent time managers, and they really have to be in control and master the time allocation of the triple constraint. You've heard me talk about this before. The triple constraint is time, scope, budget. If at any time or any point in your project the time is out of whack, your entire project is out of whack and we need to course correct immediately. All right, so the next one is time blocking. All right, everybody can do this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter if you are a project manager, if that's your title. Time blocking. It is a game changer. This is where you set time on your schedule to do X. So from 8 until 10, I do this. I focus on this one particular thing. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of books. We can link one of the books. It's called The One Thing. This book is a really fun book that the team at Frazier Homes, we have read, and it's about how mastering the one thing and being very focused on the one thing helps you to be more disciplined. It helps you to be more structured. Instead of being a jack of all trades and master of none, when you focus on one thing, and you don't have to focus on that one thing for your entire 8-hour day. But if you do focus on that one thing and you block out time for that, you will see exponential rewards. So time blocking, we require all of our project managers to block out time. That's time to study. That's time to forecast. That's time to communicate. You block that time out, you establish a rhythm and a cadence, and you will have some successful projects. All right, the last thing is we like to reduce time wasters. Everybody knows that I hate downtime. So one of the huge time wasters and downtime is unnecessary meetings. Another one is problems that don't need to be problems. So for an example is if a subcontractor is coming because they don't have all of the information that they needed to have before they started. Well, that is a problem with the forecasting, and we should have got ahead of that by virtue of our orientations, making sure that everybody knows their scope of work, how we want them to proceed, the time associated, etc. We don't have to deal with those kind of problems if we get out of ahead. So that's a proactive approach. And then lastly is interruptions. So we are all guilty of it. The minute that we hear that notification on our phone, our devices, on our email, we're rushing straight to it. That is time wasting. We need to pause, turn off our notifications, block our time, make sure that we are sticking with the plan. Remember, plan, do, review, and we are executing based off of our goal and our target. If we don't have goals in mind, if we don't have targets in mind, we'll just kind of be aimless and we're not getting where we need to go. And so there you have it. Frazier Homes, we believe in excellent time management. You can use this philosophy and these best practices in any industry, in your personal life. It is a game changer, and it is all about knowing the difference.